Tired of going down the black hole of grant research only to become dizzy and confused? Don't know where or how to start? Looking to get into the grant profession? Need answers. What's truth? And what's myth? How can I find a grant writer? Well, I'm glad you asked. Lady Grant Scribes started our podcast to be able to answer all your questions. To be your personal teachers and guides on what to do and how to do. We're going to give you all the secrets. That's right, all of the grant writers' secrets. We're taking you behind the veil. The Lady Grant Scribes are here at your service.
Hey y'all, the scribes are here.
Yes,
I was
scribes
trying
are
to,
here.
I was trying to do like a midnight blue kind of thing. It did not work. I failed, so I will never do that again. But welcome to episode 5, the real episode 5.
Yeah, guys, we wanted to apologize because last time we said the last episode, which was episode 4, we got way ahead of ourselves and we said it was episode 5 when it was 4. But we're here. We couldn't wait. So this is the magic one, right? Because we was
Yes.
excited about these sponsorships that we've been
I
promising.
I really was, because I wanted to get it out there so bad. So that's me. That's us. That's us. This is why we say what we say about being real and raw. And we're not afraid to make a mistake like how we did and come back and apologize for it and let you know why we did such a thing. But yes, on tonight's episode we're going to talk about corporate sponsorships and what that means for you. So just a little background on what corporate sponsorships are. They are corporations that actually give a donation. They're the ones that are part of fundraising events, fundraising charitable events that go into the grant sector. And they also, besides grants and grant funding, they also do in-kind gifts. So don't ever discount an in-kind donation or in-kind gift, because that's just as important. It's on the same level of importancy as a grant. So just keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share with you, because the list that I have has a lot. It has more than the 3 I'm going to share with you. But here they go. And some of these on this list actually surprised me. I'm one of those people that's like, oh, I'm not surprised. Nothing phases me. But this one, it did. So Build-A-Bear. Build-A-Bear is one. And their corporate sponsorships are for community, like in whatever community project you have going on or program, teamwork, positive change, like positive change in the world and the environment and organizations, by helping the homelessness and such, and respect for the animals. So they do have that where they they have it to where they are protecting animals from animal abuse, no matter what the animal is. It could be like a household pet, or it could be livestock and other. And the second one, number 2, we just gonna dive right in and get through all these. Okay. Home Depot.
Drum roll, number 2.
It's like Home Depot was like a shocker, but not at the same time, because they're so big, they're so massive, they're everywhere. So Home Depot also does a community, and they do neighborhood improvement. So that's like your housing projects for the homeless or displaced families. I think that's on the lines of what Habitat for Humanity does, where they just get together, a group of volunteers together, and they build houses for either displaced families or the homeless. Or, if you're nice enough, they might just give you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke. So the last one, maybe the last one I have is Joann's Fabrics and Crafts, or Joann's as it's now known. So they do arts and education for and that's not limited to the classroom. That's community wide. That's everyone. If you're an artist, if you do any kind of drawing, art, sculpting, fashion, whatever it may be, this is where you want to look into. Joann's. So arts and education, health, and wellness. That shocked me because as a craft store, and this was my bias, as a craft store, I'm like, oh, you do arts and that's nice. You don't do anything else. But like I said, my bias. So to see health and wellness, like they care about the well-being of you and everyone that's around you, that's really good. And so I am going to go ahead and say it. Number 4 bonus, which is you got to stay tuned and actually contact us, get with us, and we can see for corporate sponsorship what's best for you. So at the end, like I always try to wait to the end to give our contact details out. So we're going to do that at the end. But Alexis, go ahead.
Yeah, so Brittney, you did an excellent job. So guys, these are a lot of sponsors that give somewhat grants. They're still like grants and like kind awards to your organization that a lot of people didn't know. So locally. So you want to be in connection with that and making sure that they line up with your project. So let's say like the Home Depot grant or sponsorship. If you are building a kitchen, you want to teach kids home economics and etiquette and teach them how to be able to eat healthy and live a healthy lifestyle, and you want to build out a kitchen or you need some compliances for that, well, you can apply for that with Home Depot, but your organization has to be at least in operation for a year. And you want, because of COVID right now, they're not doing, because Home Depot does installs, but because of COVID, they haven't been okay to be inside people's homes. So as long as you have volunteers that can do that work for you, and you just document that and send it over to them, and so you're good to go, y'all. It's that's simple. For some of the things is right under you guys' nose, and we just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that. And when you're reaching out to different sponsorships, it's a simple letter of showing what your organization is, making sure you state your EIN number, that you are tax exempt. Also, attach that determination, your formation, your EIN letter to the letter in the email, and state like, hey, this is my organization. This is kind of our mission, and these are the programs we're doing. And I wouldn't go all detail with all your programs, just the main one that you may need help that fits what that sponsorship may offer. Like I said, Home Depot repairs this. You may be with a repair project and say, hey, this. And then they'll send over how you can apply, what you need to do, and help walk you through the steps as well. But of course, to make sure to guarantee that you get it, you want to reach out to grant professionals such as me, Brittney, or anybody that's in your area. I'm not saying that you have to choose us, but we would love to service you and see you win those sponsorships. Just your local organizations or even businesses to partner up with you to do donations and to sponsor you. There may be a local business that say,
Alexis,
hey,
can I
you
chime
fit
in
our
for a minute?
narrative. Yeah, like you may be a skater park and you say, hey, with this, you build out a skater park for kids to come and you give access to kids to come for free and teach skating. And there may be a business that's close by that do skateboards. You say, can you sponsor some of our kids, or for a year or 2 years, 100 skateboards, and you do that for the next one in the next area, so you can meet the need of making sure these kids learn and do what they need to do with this skateboard. And so you never know, guys. So there's certain sample letters with that, and I kind of gave you a clue on what you need to do with some of those sponsorship letters. Again, mention who your organization is. Make sure you attach your EIN number, your formation, your determination letter. Attach it to the letter. Be specific in what you're needing based on the nature of what you're going after or sponsor you're requiring. And then you can also do tiers, guys. If you put on a golf tournament and you guys want to raise money or funds for a set project in your organization, you may put on a golf tournament and reach out to organizations to do free tees and golf clubs and to raffle off and have a banner of different people who sponsor that event. You may go to your local Chick-fil-A and say, hey, can you sponsor this event? We're doing this to bring awareness about this or to raise funds for this. A lot of them will say, yeah, I'll give you some gift cards, and you can for the whole time announce or do like a commercial about, Mickey D's, Jack in the Box, or Wall, whatever store it may be, and put them on a banner. So it's represented. So they may say, yeah, or I'll do tier one package. You can come up with different packages like tier one, tier two, tier three with different sponsorship levels. Like, hey, we'll give you XYZ in required of sponsorship recognition for our organization at $1,000. The second one may be 5,000. The third may be your highest packet, 10,000. And you can say, hey, you have access if you're a gym and you created a gym for kids. You say you may have access for your kids to come for a year for donating. The kids will dedicate this wall for you, and your organization will buy X amount of gift cards to give to some of our kids if you sponsor. So it'll be a win-win. So they're being represented well. So these are all some key things, guys, you can do for sponsorships. So let's recap. Writing out a letter, being specific on what your organization needs is based on who you're asking to sponsor for. Reaching out to local businesses to see if they can sponsor you or your organization for a year, 2 years, 10 years, or every other year, annual, however that you feel the need is for your organization, and offering them different tier packages that they can choose from. And keeping in mind when you offering these tier packages, making sure it's something worthwhile that the sponsor will say, yes, it's a win-win for both of you. Reaching out to your local chamber, being a part, a lot of chamber of commerce will give you a discount for being a nonprofit organization. So you can interact with these businesses and get these easy local lists of businesses that you can reach out to ask in your community to sponsor, or whether that be volunteer services or even to invest in what you're doing or donations. So that's the start, guys. Looking at your local chamber of commerce in your area, researching organizations that match your narrative and your mission and what your programs are, and sending those emails, finding those contact lists, giving calls and say, hey, who do I contact for sponsorship or to tell about my organization? Usually everybody has that person. You can either find it on the website, send that email, do a follow-up with them. Because sometimes you may think they didn't get your letter, but they did. Just do your due diligence of doing a follow-up. Just say, hey, I would like to partner. My organization would like to partner in anything you're doing. And if you don't mind volunteering or teaching my kids your services, or even maybe sitting on your board, guys. If you're returning your board, a lot of boards, I like to say have a high turnaround in the first 3 years, just because a lot of people say they dedicated and not. Some people don't know how much time they can really dedicate, or the responsibility of really being with your nonprofit organization. So it's just filtering them out, and don't get upset or frustrated in the beginning stages of your nonprofit, because at this point, guys, when you're up to sponsorships and fundraising, you should have things in place, like your board in place, your board of advisors. You should have already been tax exempt. You guys are going after partnering with people in your community to make the dream work. So it's a team to service your community and local businesses, so you can support them, they can support you. And then once you get that, because all these things leads up it's like a stepping stone, like a ladder. You getting up to the grant readiness, like we talked about in the last episode, where now these companies and organizations can now give you letters of inquiry of saying, hey, or this organization is awesome. We stand behind them in the community. A lot of foundations love that because you have the support and they know that, hey, at any point, they don't need to rely on my money that I'm giving out all the time, that they have support. Or even when you say, hey, my organizations behind me have matched this, can you guys match this? That's great. They see that you, or they will love to fund you because they know I don't have to necessarily give this organization all the dime. They have sponsors, they have people behind them, and they're going to do great with the funds that we give them. So it's going to go to great use at every time because they have so much support behind them. And so these are things that are like a win-win, a plus that puts you over the edge in your application. The more, the better, depending on how much that you're going after. But always look at those requirements, guys. And so this can really conclude. I mean, I don't know. It's just that simple. It's not like, oh, what's the secret sauce? We give you the secret sauce. It's that simple. Just finding people who you want to partner to celebrate in what you do in your organization and that match your mission. And you go after that in the need of your programs to link and just keep winning and being successful, guys, and have those dollars rack in.
I actually do have something to add on. So,
Okay.
like Alexis mentioned, getting connected with your whoever you're with chamber. And I actually did that a couple days ago. Like a couple days ago, I did that. Like they had our networking in-person networking breakfast like on Tuesday. So it was like a work day, but at the same time I went because it was something that I needed to do because as a grant writer, that's what you are. You are involved in community work by helping others get funded for whatever they need to get funded with. As long as it's, of course, legal and goes along with the bylaws of whatever their nonprofit is. So when I went there, I wasn't nervous at all. They had crepes that were delicious. And yeah, it was actually the if you're in the Texas area, Houston Northwest Chamber of Commerce, I met like the director of that who did that one, and they let me know that they were not a part of, they're kind of like their own branch from the Houston Chamber of Commerce downtown. But yeah, I met a lot of people that I actually do need, just like they need a grant from me, I need a service from them. So it's a win-win. Like Alexis has mentioned before, there's money on the table for everybody. It's not just,
Yep.
okay, let me hoard all this for myself. But the more you branch out there and the more you team build, the more will really come back to you unexpectedly. But
Yeah, because the
yeah.
organization needs to be built on team. Like this is a nonprofit organization that you created out your heart to service your community and the people that you felt wasn't being reached. And so what greater way than a community really working together? And so a lot of businesses share that, but they just don't. Some of them allocate funds to give back to the community, but they don't want to take on the big responsibility of adding the nonprofit piece to their organization. So a lot of them seek out. I just want people to even introduce the idea, guys. So don't be discouraged. Go ahead and seek out these businesses and these companies to do just that. And when you build rapport with certain one of these companies or sponsorships, a lot of times they know you coming annually. Oh, there go Mr. John. He's coming annually for the toy drive that he does, or for the turkey things that he do every Thanksgiving. They looking to service you and match or see how they can help you even more, because now it's just a Rolodex. Let me call them up. We're doing our annual. They're faithful to support. So build that rapport, guys.
But anything else you want to say before we close out?
Nope, that's it, guys. Go out there, win-win. If you guys want a copy of sample sponsorship letters to send out, if you just have to be one of those people like me, sometimes you need templates. Reach out to us. We'll give you one sample, but we got to know that you reached out to this episode. You got to email us, and then we'll send it to you via email.
I really wish I could have thought of like a secret word or phrase to say, but I will say this: when you email us, and our email is ladygrantscribes@gmail.com, let us know that you listened to this episode, the real episode 5. The real episode 5.
Official, guys.
The official or the real episode
Bingo.
5. Shoot us an email. Hey, I listened to the official or the real episode 5. I am very interested in the corporate sponsorship list. May I please have it? And we will gladly send it to you.
Exactly.
But just to get our contacts, like, hey, where are you? Where are we? So here is where we are. We I already gave you my email, but again, it's ladygrantscribes@gmail.com. We are on Instagram at Lady Grant Scribes Podcast.
Yep.
We're on Facebook as Lexi Britt, but our nickname is Lady Grant Scribes. We are on Twitter of all places. Twitter, get a Twitter. We're on Twitter at Lady Scribes. And
Yep.
for our podcast, of course, we're on Spotify, but we're also on Anchor, and our other ones.
Republic, Apple, Google Podcasts,
Breaker.
So guys, check us. Whatever is your boat, you can find us there.
And also, if you're interested in snippets, we do have our YouTube channel where I have mine, which is dedicated to Grants, my personal one. And we also have a Lady Grant Scribes YouTube channel that will show it as well. So if, but the only way to get the access to full episodes is you gotta listen into our podcast. Although we'll put snippets on there for you all, but yeah, to get the full episode, you gotta listen to our podcast, subscribe to us, share, sharing is caring. And also,
sharing is caring.
Teamwork makes the dream work. When there's no I in team. So you win just like that. You win when you're a part of a team.
Yes. 2 is better than 1, guys. They uplift the other when the other is down. 2 minds is better than 1. Keep you focused and grounded. And guys, don't forget, we'll be notifying you guys on our podcast as well as our social media platform on Facebook and Instagram when we'll be doing our webinars. So be looking out for that coming up soon. So if you guys, the first one that we're going to start off with is if you guys want to know the 12-step process and setting up your foundation, as well as what it's going to take to do the formation, your EIN, as well as the nonprofit exempts, the exempt status for 501c3 exempt status. We're going to actually show you guys step by step how to fill out the form and how to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an organization getting started and you like, I don't have the money to pay out a lot of people to do such and such, you will want to get this in your repertoire so you will know how to set up a nonprofit as far as your paperwork goes for your formation, getting your EIN, and the 501c3 exempt status. We're actually going to walk you through it to show you how to do it yourself and the lingo that you need. We're going to be giving some giveaways. We're going to give you templates on how to set up those bylaws as well as your resolution, because you're going to need that when you set up your bank account and when you're applying for the exempt status. So we're giving away goodies and extras in there, guys, for a reasonable price. So just be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, so I was just kidding earlier when I was like, because you mentioned our you you mentioned our webinar, and I was like, do we have to give out that? Do we have to tell them? And it's like, yeah, we do. Okay. So although I was just kidding about that, I'm really gonna post it. I've had a lot to do, but I'm not one of those that like making excuses. So I'm definitely putting it on our social medias. We definitely I'm putting it elsewhere too, like on my site. I have it in my, if you join my email list, I have it in there as well. Of course, other grant
Yeah, we're
committees
gonna
that
have it on our
follow,
websites too, our personal websites.
our personal and
Um,
our main for Lady Grant Scribes.
yeah. So I
So
know Brittney, she's gonna tell you guys hers, but mine is Grants by Lexi at .now.site, and also Grants by Lexi on Facebook as well as Instagram. You're gonna see it on there in my website. If you guys are following, just be on the lookout for that and other spots too, guys. On Smile World TV Network, we're gonna be putting and talking about it for people who listen over there on Roku, so they can be able to join in as well. But Brittney, just go ahead and give them your personal site too as well, where they can find these links, because we don't want you guys to miss out. Now we're gonna have it on the
yes.
Lady Grant Scribe platform, but as well as our individual platforms and other ones. So you never know where you're gonna see it, but make sure you check out these main sites so you can get in on the action.
So mine is for my company, which is Write the Vision Plainly. So everything, just about everything, is WTVP LLC. So my website is WTVPLLC.now.site. I only have for that Facebook and Instagram. No, I also have a YouTube channel. Ha, kidding. But for my Facebook and Instagram, they're both at WTVP LLC 20. So Instagram.com/WTVP LLC 20, Facebook.com/WTVP LLC 20. Also, my YouTube channel is just my name, Brittnei C. Leon. I also have TikTok, which is Brittnei C. Leon as well. All that information will be in the description post below. And I say that specifically because I don't spell my name like the average Brittney, and I don't want you to be on some other Brittney's platform that doesn't know anything about grants. So I'm trying to save you. But yeah, that's all I got. And yeah, if you subscribe to, like I mentioned kind of sort of earlier, if you subscribe to my email list, where over 31 days, I also give you grant tips. When you sign up for that one, you'll also get you'll get like firsthand information on what we're doing on our podcast, and as well as when we're going to drop our webinar. So, and then, even after the webinar, even more goodies. So, you want to stay tuned, and you want to subscribe, you want to sign up for that.
Hey guys, we'll be dropping some free webinars and giving you an opportunity to get some other offers from us. But overall, our duty is to educate, to inform, and to empower and inspire nonprofit organizations to keep up the fight for their mission. As we see things that's going out in the community, even now, like I said, certain uncertainties, it's important, if you're listening and you're thinking about starting a nonprofit organization, please sponsor those that's around you. Sometimes we take for granted the organizations that do a whole lot of stuff around us until they're gone when we need them. Like, point in case, if this situation don't in the White House that don't get solved, then we're going to be in a situation where you're going to be needing to rely on certain nonprofit organizations, whether
Really,
that's food banks, other things, and hope that they can keep afloat if the government does shut down, you know. So they're out here to help you guys. So if you give in time, I like to say a famine, you'll have plenty, right? So support the organizations that are around you that helps so you can get that return and investment back to you, because that's where they are in the community to help. And for those nonprofit organizations, we want you to be supported and feel helped and loved, where you can fight another day because you lead with passion, love, and with your heart on your sleeve to be able to care for many. And so we want to give back. So there's going to be some free workshops coming up soon too. We just gonna have a variety of stuff. That's why we do what we do, and we love you here over at Lady Grant Scribes. So, and I'm just gonna be signing off right now as Lexi. Don't forget to check us out on our podcast as well as our social media platforms. Brittney's going to give those handles again so you can check out for when the webinar is going to come, and just to get loved on with extra information, what we do.
we love to give you freebies. Like, that's what we like to do. But so our handles again, email is ladygrantscribes@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @LadyScribes. Our Instagram is Lady Grant Scribes Podcast. Our Facebook is Lexi's Brit with nickname Lady Grant Scribes. And our other platforms that we're on besides Spotify is and I do make a list of these on the Lady Grant Scribes, just in case I don't mention all of them, and they'll also be in the description post below. So we are, besides Spotify, we are on Breaker, Anchor, Google, Apple, anywhere there's podcasts, public cast, like I think it's public cast, I'm not 100% sure, or is it public radio? But yeah, we're on more than one. So whatever one that you feel comfortable listening to, we'll be there, definitely on that one. But yes, this has been Brittney C and Alexis, and we're signing off. So we love you guys. We love you.
Yep. You've been scribed by Lady Grant Scribes.
Tune in every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.